Sinead O'Connor has passed away. This is according to multiple reports. The Irish singer released 10 studio albums over her career and was best known for the single Nothing Compares to You, which was written by Prince and it shot to #1 on the charts in 1990. O'Connor leaves behind 3 children. Her 17-year-old son passed away last year. Sinead O'Connor was 56 years old. And for more on her life and legacy, we're joined now by Eric Alper, music commentator. Eric, good afternoon. Thank you for taking time to speak with us. I wish it was under better circumstances. First off, Sinead O'Connor, let's talk about the impact that she's had on your life as a music aficionado.
Yeah, Sinead and I actually worked together doing the PR for a number of her albums in the 2010. Every time that I got to talk to her, every time I got to hang out with her, she was larger than life. I adored her from the start. You know, when she came on the scene in 1990 with her debut record, not only was it probably one of the most powerful albums I've ever heard in my whole life, but it really led to her entire life of social activism, of standing up for social justice, for human rights, for LGBTQ plus rights, for using your voice as an artist to stand up in what you believe in. And of course, tearing the Pope on Saturday Night Live, absolutely derailing her career. And she loved the idea of stepping away from the spotlight and that pressure. And truth be told, she was right to do all of that. As history has shown, the ability for her to talk about mental health awareness, she encouraged others to seek help and get support. And, you know, you and I talk a lot whenever artists pass away. And, you know, the cliche is always like, you know, may they rest in peace. But I think in terms of Sinead O'Connor, I really absolutely do hope that she finds peace.
With respect to O'Connor's activism, what do you hope that legacy will look like, that will, you know, maybe transform or manifest over, you know, the coming months and years?
Yeah, you know, it's very easy to take for granted the ability for artists, especially in music, to go on social media and talk about the mental health struggles that they go through, the constant music that they have to release, the constant engagement that they have to do, engaging with their audience, engaging with their fan base, engaging with arguments, suffering, and all of that stuff. So it's very easy to take a look at that and understand, though, that Sinead O'Connor was actually doing that back in 1990. She was actually talking about those issues to an industry that fed upon artists like this over and over again, not really caring so much about what was going on mentally and physically and emotionally for artists. You know, if you complained, you kind of just said, okay, well, you can go back on the road and be happy. Nobody really asked Sinead O'Connor what she wanted to have in her life professionally in order to make herself happy. But she was one of the first people to talk about it in that kind of a realm. You know, and without going too much on a tangent, like, you know, this is like, keep in mind, like, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of advocacy for drug rehab and alcoholism and AA. And it wasn't very easy for artists to actually admit these kind of things while they were going through them. But Sinead O'Connor absolutely was the biggest name out there, and she never, ever shied away from using her voice.
And Eric, what did O'Connor do for rising musicians, budding musicians in the country of Ireland?
You know, musically, I mean, because she was all over the map, she can go from folk to rock to jazz to pop to reggae to classical to torch song in a matter of an album. And so I think that, you know, when you talk about her catalog of albums and live albums and her concerts, the ability to just follow your muse and follow and do what you want to do and create what you want to create. You're never going to figure it out anyway. You're never going to predict what's going to sell and what's not going to sell. So you might as well just do what you want to do and follow your heart and follow your soul and see where that takes you, because you could actually find happiness in selling 100,000 copies as opposed to trying to find it when you're selling 15 million, because she knew she sold 22 million copies of I Do Not Want What I Have Not Got, and it made her miserable. So the ability for her to continue on and doing what she wanted to do, I think is a great lesson for artists out there who want to create anything.
Eric Alper, music commentator. Thank you for your remarks and sharing your personal effects and relationship with Sinead O'Connor. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. We'll talk soon.